Take 797. Not really, but it's a lot. I wasn't counting. This is a video I've been trying to make for a while called Self-Care During a Pandemic. The tools I want to offer in it are grounding, centering, breathing, and orienting. And these are all tools that I've offered in jail yoga settings, in homeless shelter yoga classes. I've used them for myself for many years now, whether I'm sailing offshore in a storm in a sailboat and I'm scared and I need to stay present, whether I'm just interacting with rambunctious toddlers. I used these tools taking on my lunch break, or even sometimes just during a pee break while I was working at the 911 center. These tools can be used anywhere, and I'm going to teach them to you from my car where I'm using the library Wi-Fi. The car's not running, I'm not burning fossil fuels, just sitting next to the library where they have decent Wi-Fi and I can make the video and upload it. So without further ado, we're going to start with grounding. Feet are on the ground, whether you're standing or sitting in a chair. I'm sitting, but this can be done standing as well if that feels more comfortable to you. You're just going to notice how your feet are connecting with the ground. You can have your eyes closed if you're in a setting where you feel comfortable having them closed. Whether you're at home or wherever you are, just feel your feet. Just notice what's touching my feet. Do they feel cool or warm or neither of those things? Are there any sensations at all? It can be tingliness or it can be no sensation. That's okay. You're just checking in and noticing your feet, noticing what they feel like, noticing how they're connecting with the ground. And if you're sitting for groundedness, you just notice that your sits bones, how they're touching the chair. And notice that your shoulders, whether you're sitting or standing, are just directly over your hips. And then you can even imagine that you have roots growing down from you into the ground or into the chair. Just notice how we are supported by the chair or the floor or the ground, and we're grounded. Next is centering. And that, if you're standing, it's pretty easy to find where your center of gravity is not. If you're sitting, you're probably going to be hard to throw yourself off balance with sitting without getting really crazy. So with centering, we want to find out where our center is in our body. But we also are noticing sort of more interpersonally or philosophically, am I centered? Am I judging myself based on my own value system? Or do I have some internalized voice of another person? Well, so-and-so thinks such and such of me, or such and such expects such and such of me. Rather, checking in to see if you're living with your own goals and values. And if you're not, that's just something to notice. It's just giving yourself information. And if you are, that's also something to notice. Not a lot of judgment here. We're just checking in. Am I grounded? Can I feel the ground supporting me or the chair supporting me? And am I centered? And next is breathing. And there's a 3-part breath. With breathing, first we're just going to notice. Notice, what does your breathing feel like right now? And then we'll take our hands and we'll put them on our abdomen. We're going to imagine there's a birthday cake some distance from us, like let's say 6 feet. and so there's a birthday cake over there with some birthday cake candles on it, and your deepest wish is going to be granted to you if you can blow out those candles. So you're going to take the biggest breath. You've got your hands on your tummy, so they're going to feel what it feels like when your body moves to take this breath. Take the biggest breath you can and blow out the candles. Notice how your body moved with that, and then do it again. Okay, so just take a second and observe, what was it like? How much did your abdomen move when you took the deepest breath that you could and then blew it out to as much as you could? Next, again, the hands are going to go on the outside of the rib cage. So middle torso, and your fingers are in front and your thumbs are in back, and your hands are around your rib cage, the lower part of your rib cage. And we're going to do the same thing again, just 3 breaths, really dramatic breaths, and we're going to notice how our body moves with those breaths. So here we go again. Okay. Next, we're going to notice how we're going to put our fingers on our collarbones. See the steering wheel's in the way? I was going to do this from the passenger seat, but I spilled a bottle of water on the passenger seat. So here we are. We're going to notice how our body is moved by our breath with our fingers on our collarbones, and the rest of our hands are just on the front of our chest. And we're going to do those big dramatic breaths again. So inhale as much as you can and blow it out. Again. And again. And you might have noticed that your body is moved a lot by your breath if you're taking these really big breaths, but your body is moved also by subtle breaths. So when we're doing these tools, grounded, centered, breathing, you don't have to do these big candle breaths when you're just noticing your breath. Am I grounded? Okay. Am I centered? Okay. Am I breathing? Whenever we just take time to notice a thing, a subtle change for me, every time I notice if I'm breathing or not, I check in, my breathing changes, sometimes dramatically, sometimes subtly. So are you grounded? Are you centered in your own body, in your own value system? And are you breathing? And are you allowing your breath? Some people say prana, the life force, rides the breath. Are you allowing your breath to move you? It's courageous to allow yourself to be moved by life. And the last piece I want to offer is orienting. In orienting, we're going to do an external orientation and we're going to do an internal one. So maybe the external one first. Wherever you are, with your eyes open, feeling grounded, centered, and knowing that you're breathing, just look around in every direction. Look high and low, all the way behind you, and all the way around you. Just look around, and as you're looking, see if you can notice, say today, 3 blue things, or 3 things you haven't noticed before. Take a second. Notice 3 blue things, or 3 things you haven't noticed before. Really notice the place where you are. This is getting oriented externally. We're getting oriented to our external environment. And one of the things this does is it can help our nervous system calm down. When we turn our head and look around, we get out of a kind of tunnel vision. We can get stuck in tunnel vision or like a low grade fight or flight if we're stressed about a lot of things. And when we look around, we're just noticing, we're telling our very ancient part of our brain, look, no tigers, nothing is coming to eat me right now. I'm safe. Like right now, I'm in a fairly vulnerable place, in a public place, but in my car, which helps me feel safer. And I'm looking around and I see there are no external threats to me right now, my physical person. And that allows me to perhaps feel safe enough to close my eyes. And to do an internal orientation, we're just going to check in internally. It's okay if you need to keep your eyes open for this process, if you're in a place where you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes. But if you are, I encourage you to close your eyes, and we're going to check in with each body part. So starting at the bottom again with our toes. What do your toes feel like right now, in this place, in this time? What does it feel like in your toes? Are they warm? Are they cool? Some might be different than others. Is there any sensation at all? On the bottom of your feet, you're tracking for sensations. Maybe you feel the socks touching your feet or the ground. Maybe one is cooler than the other. Just noticing the sensations. And then noticing the tops of your feet. Noticing your ankles. And again, you're still breathing through all of this. Still allowing yourself to be moved by your breath. And then noticing your calves, the outsides, the insides, the backs, the fronts, the surface and the deep structures. What does it feel like in your calves right now, in your lower legs? What does it feel like in your knees right now? And again, you're tracking for sensation. Maybe there's a lot of sensation. Maybe there's not much at all. You're just noticing what it feels like on the surface of your knees and deep inside your knees. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to be you right now? And then noticing in your thighs, the surface of your thighs all the way around. Maybe they're touching the chair. Maybe there's some gentle pressure there. Maybe you can feel your clothes touching you. And then also, what are the deep internal surfaces or the deep internal structures feel like? So the surface of your thighs and inside, what does it feel like? And then your whole pelvic bowl area, where your legs meet your torso. Just noticing all the sensations in your pelvic bowl area. And then your low back and your whole lower torso, back and front and sides and internal. Middle torso, just checking in there, tracking for sensation, noticing what it feels like. And your upper torso, your back, front, sides, armpits, shoulders. What does it feel like to be in your body, in this place, in this time? Checking in with your hands, your fingers, looking for sensation. Maybe there's a lot of sensation again. Maybe there's not very much. You're just noticing. Temperature on the surface, internal sensations, your lower arms and wrists. What do they feel like? Maybe one is different from the other. That's perfectly okay. Just checking in. And then your elbows. What do your elbows feel like? And your upper arms. Just noticing what it feels like. Surface, depth, your armpits, coming into your neck, back of your neck, the sides, the front. You can swallow and notice what it feels like inside of your throat. Notice what it feels like in your mouth, your lips, your face. Maybe you can feel some breath coming in and out through your nose. Notice your left side of your head and your left ear. Notice your right side of your head and your right ear. Notice any sensations on the back part of your head, on the top of your head. Just noticing what it feels like to be you right here, right now. And so then we've gone and checked in with a lot of different individual body parts. And now I want you to invite you to just notice the totality of your sensations, the totality of what it's like to be you right now in this place. We're grounded, we're centered, we're oriented to our external world, we're oriented to our own internal condition. What does it feel like to be you right now? And then if your eyes are closed, I'd invite you to open them and look around again. See if you see something or notice something that you didn't notice before in your external environment. And for me, I just noticed the first time I looked around, I didn't notice that there's a tree next to me with these beautiful, like super vivid green popping new leaves coming out, and it's gorgeous. And so that's grounding, centering, breathing, and orienting. You can use these tools however you want, wherever you want. They are available to you 24/7 and in every situation. I hope that they give you some tools for equilibrium and joy. See you next time.